After hours of searching, where do you think I found Danya? The little brat had burrowed inside the fucking owlbear carcass. It was that big. Or maybe she was that small. She always was a bit on the runty side. Anyway, she refused to come out. Danya, I say, that ain't your kill and you know it. I tried everything. Blandishments, threats, reasoning. Nothing would work on this kid. I knew she could hear me. Sometimes she'd snort or sneeze or kind of garble something out at me. You know, like, rah, 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 rah. Basically, teenage wolf for piss off. I wouldn't listen to me either if I had a giant feathery sleeping bag full of bones and organs and meat to chew on. I can't say I wasn't tempted to join her. Must have been paradise in there. In the end, I had to wait for the silly bitch to fall asleep. Eventually, the carcass stopped shaking with her movements, and I spotted one of her feet near the hole she crawled in, so I grabbed her back legs and hauled her out. You would have thought I was skinning her alive from the way she howled. She came out covered in gore from snout to tail, and her belly was just enormous from all the meat. You should have seen her tail wagging. She wasn't punished. There's nothing wrong with being opportunistic. Besides, she was only one wolf. There was still plenty for the rest of us. God, I miss them all so much. It would have been nice to introduce you. I think you would have fared fine with us. Might have taken a couple years before you were allowed to den with the rest of us, but I'd have kept you company until then. No, I'm serious. You'd fit right in. You're at home in the forest. You aren't the type to make trouble. You don't let people walk all over you. No, shut it with that self-deprecating bullshit. That hazing they put you through during your training doesn't make you a pushover. It was you against all of them. You survived that. Give yourself more credit. Barely surviving still counts as surviving. Believe me. And look at what you managed to accomplish by yourself. That idyllic little cabin life. I heard what that breakfast-stealing wank-stain said in your kitchen. It was a shack when you first moved in. Yeah, you made it more than just comfortable. You made it yours. I lived there for almost a month. You think I didn't notice? Of course I did. It's one of the things that made me change my mind about you. You had those bundles of dried plants hanging up. The second their scent hit my nose, I was flabbergasted. I thought, this ain't right. This is somebody's granny's house. They've been kidnapped by some loon who dries sage and elderflower and sweetgrass in their kitchen like some village greenwich. And I go in there and you've got wild roses and tulips dangling from the rafters too. I ain't judging, Rabbit. They are pretty. Did I say they weren't? It just didn't fit at all with the person I thought you were when I woke up in that cave. Then one night I limped over to the hearth to help myself to more stew and saw your little carvings on the mantelpiece. I thought, what kind of hunter whittles ravens? Cute ones, even. Okay. Wait a second. So, not only did you carve ravens, you carved the specific ones you saw living round your place, and you named them. Oh, gods. You were never going to be a good hunter, were you? Come here. I just can't believe I wanted to rip your throat out when we first met. You're too fucking precious. Part of me feels bad for uprooting you, you know. You were all safe and sound in your burrow, then I fell in your lap. Yeah, that's a good point. Given how hard you were hitting that sleep powder, I don't imagine it felt very safe even before I got there, did it? Oh, I know what that's like. Some nights I wake up unable to believe that someone's not gonna somehow magically show up and drag me to the yard for another beating. Sometimes you live through hell for so long that even after you wriggle free, it doesn't feel natural that life should go on like normal. I'm glad you feel safer now, even if it's on the run like this. Sometimes you find out that your worst nightmare isn't half as bad as waiting for it to happen. All that wondering, all that energy wasted. Well, at least now you can do something about it. And you got me with you. It just pisses me off they couldn't leave you the hells alone. Okay, leave us the hells alone. Problem shared is a problem halved and all that. Gods, I can't believe all that happened less than a 10-day ago. Feels so much longer. Yeah. I just hate that I led that hunter right to you. We'll be damn lucky if he was the only one who knew that tracking spell. Anyway, I didn't mean to get depressing about it. If you say you're happier travelling at my side, I'll trust you on that. You packed those carvings. Good. Glad they came with us. Well, yeah. They're yours, aren't they? Makes them special. Don't go assuming we'll be putting up curtains at the next place we camp, but you deserve to keep something that makes you happy. Besides, I like ravens. They're clever little shits. And they're lucky. It's uncommon for werewolves to settle down with outsiders, but it's not unheard of. Never imagined myself doing it. Usually it's the loners that end up that way. The ones who were transformed late in life, either by accident or without their consent. They find a village somewhere and hope no one discovers them. Yeah, pack life is different. We're too busy living from season to season, following the moon. If the leader says it's time to go, we go. If someone dies, we remember them. We can even mourn them for our whole lives. But we leave their bones to return to the earth. Nothing's taken for granted, but nothing's cherished either. Not like you see with other races. You have records that span generations. Libraries and statues and cemeteries for your dead. You keep heirlooms even. You never find a place where packs of werewolves have dwelled for hundreds of years. Now we have stories and lessons we pass down, just like anyone, I suppose. But I don't know if you call it history. It doesn't stretch very far back, and it's not written down anywhere. We share what we learn and remember among ourselves, but if something is forgotten, it's forgotten. What we love ferociously, for as long as we can. But nothing stays after we're gone. So, I think I understand better why you get so attached to places and trinkets and all that. A year ago I would have scoffed at the idea of bringing little wooden ravens with us on the run. But you keep teaching me new things to value. You want to settle down for the night? Get a fire going? I'm Sick of boar jerky. Think I'm going to scrounge up something fresh. I guess I am in a better mood, yeah. It's good to be outside again. And as much as I love a good, long, bloody romp in the woods, it also feels kind of nice once the full moon's over. It's like a pressure lifts. My head's clearer. I can slow down a little. Appreciate things more. Be back soon. Hey. Nabbed us a couple of grouses. Nice and plump. I'm not surprised pickings are a bit slim this close to civilization. There'll be enough for tonight and breakfast, I think. This time tomorrow we'll likely reach Baldur's Gate, yeah? We can stock up on your vegetables and things. Maybe someone will have a nice lamb on sale. No. Pluck those later. Right now. I'm in the mood for sweeter meat. Subscribe at patreon.com/FasmidASMR to hear how he tastes you. God, I still can't believe I get to do that with you. No, never had a long-term mate before I fell in your lap. Plenty of tumbles. I wasn't exactly in the right frame of mind to consider anything longer than a night or two. Yeah, you sure as hell's changed that, didn't you? I know a month's not long for you, but it feels like ages to me. I can't see myself living like this with anyone else, though. Just don't want to. If I had anyone to announce it to, I'd name you my mate. So, instead, I'll declare it to you. You're mine, and I'm yours. What can I say? You bring it out in me. In a few more years, I might turn into as big a sap as you. No. If life didn't turn you into a raging arsehole by now, I can't see you becoming one just from hanging around with me. You don't have a mean bone in your whole body. I've examined it very recently, even. Didn't find a one. Oh. No, I doubt that would change even if you were a werewolf. No, I wouldn't want to change you. Not even if you asked me to. I leave that shit for the elders to figure out. I'm not made for that kind of responsibility. I mean, I won't lie, I have wondered what it would be like if you and I were the same. Might be fun to see what you looked like. But nah, I don't think it would do much to your temperament. Unfortunately, the sweet ones rarely thrive, even in packs that love and protect them. And I wouldn't change that soft heart of yours for the world. I can understand how the unlucky ones see lycanthropy as a curse. I'd say they're the only ones who are allowed to. The newly heightened senses, the transformations, the loss of control. It's the ones who change later in life that tend to suffer the most. Even the ones who wanted it. They feel the change every month like there's a separate, uncontrollable creature inside them that emerges every full moon. Oh, no. It isn't like that for me at all. I've been like this since I can remember. Even when I let the moon have me, nothing truly takes over. I'm still me. I might make an absolute mess out of a deer, but I'd never, enter a farmhouse and slaughter everyone inside, for example. Sure, I've mauled a few humans, but they were trying to fucking kill me. They started it. Yeah, well, there you have it. Anyway, I've never killed anyone who didn't have it coming. And I've never changed anyone either. Fortunately for you, little rabbit, this only works if I bite you during a full moon. There's no fear of accidentally doing that. Besides, all the things I imagined us doing as werewolves, running, or going on hunts, or fucking under the stars, we already do all of that anyway, and it's goddamn marvellous. I'm not missing out on anything. You're still pack. It's getting close to dawn. Don't make me yawn your yawns. Wore you right out, didn't I? At least you won't need the sleeping powder tonight. Go on. Get some rest. I'll spit the birds and take first watch. Get the fuck off. Get up and be silent. You wouldn't be the first cadet I collared. My son used to have similar problems with willfulness. But you might be the first one I ever caught fucking a werewolf. Fortunately, there's always time to return to the fold. Even degenerates have their uses. A little re-education to tamp down those urges, and you'll be hunting again in no time. Even if it means that collar never again leaves your neck. When Reese's sending stone went silent 3 days ago, I was baffled. When I went to look for him, and instead found your cabin empty and ransacked, I assumed my son's plan to track down the werewolf worked a little too well. But then, an enigma. 2 sets of footprints led away from your cabin, one large, one small, and neither matched Reese's boots. Out of pure curiosity, I followed them, and what should I stumble upon but this little den of perversion? We can return to the matter of my son in a moment. First things first. Pick up the crossbow. No. Fuck you. Let them go. Take aim. Don't. You think. Fuck. Fire. fuck me. God's fucking damn it. Sorry I had to let him blather on like that. I was hoping to bring him in. Wanted to wound him and destroy the collar's master orb in one shot, but then I realised he was wearing it around his fucking neck. Oh, right. Yeah. Gotcha. Let me get that off you, lad. Hey, rabbit. You missed. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. God, you're shaking. I'm good. I'm fine. See, your shot went wide, love. You were crying too hard. Just about broke me heart. I don't want to break this up, but we need to get out of here. I'll go toss the body then. Be ready to leave when I get back. Who the fuck are you? Andrew, ex-hunter, archer, meat enthusiast. Me and my company, we've been meaning to get your attention. Not like this, though. This was almost a disaster. You've seen signs of us here and there, yeah? Carved into tree branches. I meant to introduce myself to you while you're on your watch, but this sadistic fuck ruined that plan.
Wait, you?
Yeah, that's us. Order of the Waxen Moon. I guess since you helped us bag this bastard, that makes you honorary members too.
You're fucking with me.
Gods, I almost wish I was. I'm gonna have to fill out so much paperwork.
I think you finally fucking fell asleep. Hey, rabbit. Let's lie down. I thought he'd never shut up. I think I know more about his little organisation than I ever imagined I would. They don't sound like a bad lot. No. A little zealous. But I'd be too if I escaped the kind of hell you went through. How are you holding up? I'm not complaining, but you barely let go of me all evening. God, yeah, the fucker ambushed me while I was disposing of an old bear trap. Rusty thing. All I could think about was what it'd do to someone if they stepped in it. And planned on dropping it down this abandoned well. It was covered in vines, all boarded up. When I lifted the lid and looked inside, it was bone dry, so I tossed the trap in. Figured the hateful thing couldn't hurt anyone down there. Let my guard down for just a second. Stupid of me. Oh, hey. Shh. Settle down. You're trembling again. Not that I blame you, but you gotta remember where you are. Rest your head on my chest. Close your eyes and listen. Hear my heartbeat? Feel my hand in yours. It happened, but it's over. All that matters right now is I'm holding you close, and I'm not letting you go. Just focus on that and take deep breaths. Yeah. There you go. I'll say it as many times as you need. We're safe. I have you. I'm not letting you go. God. I can't imagine what it must have been like for you to wake up with that thrall collar activated. I almost regret that our friend took him out. I would have fucking flayed him for what he did to you. Yeah, but you didn't shoot me, Rabbit.
Don't paint devils on the wall with what ifs, okay? Someday, we're gonna look back on this and laugh our asses off about it. I promise.
Yeah.
I think I might owe Andrew a life debt for getting you out of that mess. Gonna be leaving boars and elk carcasses on his front porch till he's 90. You think you can try to sleep? I can make you a hot drink, add a pinch of your powder to it. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if you needed that tonight. Okay. No powder, then. Proud of you. I'm not going anywhere, though. You don't have to keep watch. You can rest. I don't know, I get it. Sometimes it takes time for it to sink in. Take as long as you need. I love you too. So goddamn much.